Hey guys, so today we are going to have a quick sort of chat about intermittent fasting. So it's something that we're coming across a lot at the moment with clients, and it's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It's just, once again, it depends really on the individual and how we sort of devise the strategy to work within their lifestyle, their exercise output, just basically what they're doing and whereabouts they're currently situated. So lots of benefits as far as digestion, detoxification, cell health, and then obviously weight loss and fat loss, which is why a lot of people are sort of undergoing that sort of technique and sort of giving it a try. And the sort of the hardest part about it for us, like when we sit down with people and we sort of ask them what they've been doing, and they say they've been having a crack at this, is like there needs to be clearer instruction and sort of more specific detailing behind why you are undergoing that specific protocol and how to go about it. Okay, so I think with intermittent fasting, it's kind of like with keto or low carb dieting or high protein dieting. Like, it's sort of easy to take away the most basic concept out of those titles. So with the intermittent fasting, it's okay, cool. What people do is they just shut off. I don't eat from this point to this point, and then I have a window where I eat. Okay, so there's kind of, without sort of having structured eating to go along with the fast, not structuring the fast sort of correctly, or just saying fasting from, when you go to bed at night until 12 o'clock the next day, and then all of a sudden that, you end up going out for breakfast, and so you have something at 10:30 that day, then it changes the next day, then you forget to eat at 12 on Wednesday, and then so you push it out till 2. So it's kind of the ups and downs where it sort of gets lost. And that's kind of what we find also, is that generally when someone sort of undergoes one of these protocols, there's a lot of, like, you're generally trying to do it to lose weight, to improve your health and that type of thing. And what we really need to look at is your current situation is probably not ideal. Okay, so your metabolism, your hormonal profile, your current situation, your body's under stress already. Okay, so what happens then is that we undergo the intermittent fasting, and more often than not actually, this will put extra stress on the body. So basically, unless you're already eating really well, you've got a super efficient metabolism, your hormones are nice and balanced, and everything's kind of ticking over, on point, then a lot of the time, I'd say 95% of the time, basically what you're doing is you're just throwing a whole heap of extra stress at the body, and that's why we don't sort of get the results that we're after. So generally what we will do first is, we look at what you're eating, what your intake's like on a daily sort of basis, what your exercise output's like, what work, stress, life, what's going on under that very broad umbrella of your health, fitness, wellness, and even your spiritual wellness. Like, if you're in a bad place sort of mentally, or you've just got too much on your plate, then throwing something like that in there is probably not going to be the best sort of idea for you. So and so the thing with the fasting and after the fasting and having this window of eating is that a lot of the time people are just jamming in all these calories, like, oh cool, I did an 18-hour fast today, that gives me a 6-hour window to just chaff down as much as I can and just sort of eat what I feel like I need to eat, which isn't ideal. Obviously, what can sort of happen in that situation too is that, say we're doing a 12-hour fast, and we've sort of you know, if we know what our calorie intake's like and we try and get in a whole heap of calories over 1 or 2 meals, then we overwhelm digestion. We've got sort of excess nutrients and macronutrients that sort of aren't going to get utilized efficiently, okay, because we're kind of eating too much at once, and the body can only sort of take on board and do something with a certain amount at a time, depending on the individual and once again the situation. So these are things that we sort of need to be aware of, because it needs to be done properly, like sort of any sort of nutritional diet sort of strategy, is that if they're done right, and pretty much all of them, if they're done right and you're compliant, then they will work. And it's having the experience to know how and when to implement that plan or that protocol with the right person. So we find with the whole sort of intermittent fasting thing, it's something that Nikayla and I will both do ourselves. We've done it during comp prep. We use it in sort of situations where like flying and that type of thing. So it can be used very, very strategically as a tool, as a very effective tool. And also, like what I've found with clients over all these years is that generally the best fasts, okay, so don't just go out and attempt these, okay, obviously, because we put structure and plan into place and get the body into a optimal environment to be able to apply these tools. So we find that the best fasts are once a week for 24 hours. Okay, that seems to be really effective if the individual's eating really well those other 6 days a week. There's a good sort of training, work-life sort of balance going on, sleeping well, that type of thing. So 24-hour fast seems to be very effective in that sense. And also a little bit more sort of down the extreme end of things is we've had really amazing results from 72-hour fasts, okay? So that's a tough one. Like 3 days is a long time. So we've got to make sure that there's lots of like nutrients, vitamins and minerals and that type of thing still going in whilst sort of undertaking those fasts. We do a lot of like our Pure Green supplement that's available on our website to support the detoxification, the digestion processes. We make sure that they're still taking their vitamin and minerals, lots of water, and we sort of stay in touch as far as how they're feeling and how they're responding, just so we can kind of keep tabs on things a little bit and make sure that it's all going well. So there's lots of good sides to it. And then sort of on the other hand, there's sort of not so good things. I won't say negative, but I'll say not so good things if, we kind of don't do it properly. So I suppose at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that speak with someone that is educated, experienced, not someone that's just kind of done it and it's kind of gone well for them, because you've got to have a look at, you've got to take into consideration all the other factors and why that person may have done well. If they've got a super high output, they're really physical, that type of thing, then maybe they can fast for 18 hours a day and feed their face for 6, and that calorie intake and that stress on the system's not going to kind of put them off too much, so there's always exceptions to the rule. However, it doesn't have to be really hard to successfully lose fat and keep good muscle mass and have good health. Like generally speaking, like most of the time, if we just have a nice balanced intake, okay, we're not too far either way, whether it's with the types of foods we're eating, or the fasting, or the training, the exercise. The balance is what's going to optimize your health. It's what's going to get you results. It's what's going to be sustainable, okay? Sustainable in the long term is what we're all after, Yeah, so just, if you need a hand with anything, if it's something that you've kind of been interested in and you want to do it properly, then reach out and contact us. We're here to help, and we do this sort of stuff every day so we can get you on the right track and get you in the best health of your life. So contact us, jump on the website, dynamicnutrition.co.nz. We're on Facebook, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. So just yell out. We're happy to help. Let's get you healthy, and cool. Cheers.